Welcome to VRS Very Rich Stories, where you will see stories of love, betrayal, secrets, and twists in real life. Today's story is Our Kid Is Worth Millions. Go get it. 15-year-old NFT artist becomes a millionaire overnight, then her criminal dad shows up. Leila, a 15-year-old girl, creates a quirky NFT series on her aunt's old laptop, and overnight, it's worth $4 million. But just as her life changes forever, so does her past. Because the man who fathered her, who disappeared when she was a baby, a man with a criminal record, just walked back into her life, and he wants custody. Moira, whom everyone called Mo, beamed at Leila, her adorable niece. She couldn't believe that she was now, and suddenly, her caregiver, her guardian and custodian. Mo's sister, Nikki, had been running with the wrong crowd since high school. Mo, who was very studious in school, had warned Nikki to change her ways, but it was as though Jared had Nikki under his spell. Nikki was so in love with Jared, it bordered on obsession. She was so into him that they even dressed alike every day. Jared James, the teenager who would become Leila's dad on prom night, senior year. Prom night? Mo had asked Nikki, "Don't do it. Our parents started way too early, and we don't even know where either of them are now. They left us in this house way out in the middle of nowhere, Brockway. They've been gone for years now. We've done okay." Nikki, okay is not good enough. Nikki was not listening. Mo told Nikki not to do it, but she did it anyway. Jared spent or wasted 8 more years after Leila was born, coming in and out of their lives, ghosting and then reappearing, and then ghosting again. Every time he would come around, Nikki would just about lose her mind, or at least lose control, and would become like putty in his hands. One Wednesday in September, years ago when Leila was just in the 2nd grade, Jared rolls back into their lives from out of nowhere. He is wearing jeans and a black shirt. Nikki sees what he is wearing and goes and changes so she can match, like they are still in high school. "Oh, this is too much," thinks Mo, who is now 23, 2 years younger but much more emotionally mature than Nikki. It's too much. Jared says, "Hey Nikki, I want to take you out for lunch." "Me and Leila?" Nikki asked. "Leila is in school, right? So just me and you." Jared never even asked about Leila. "Yeah, I can go." Nikki turns to her sister and says, "Mo, can you meet the bus and get Leila if I'm not back in time?" "Yeah, sure." Jared's driving an old blue Honda. Mo squeezed her eyes, studying it. That car doesn't look like the one he had in high school, but somehow it does. If that's a new car, it's a new old car. Same old Jared, the poster boy for unsuccessful. When they get to the car, Jared asks Nikki, "Will you drive?" "I'm tired from the trip here." Nikki never tells him no, so she jumps into the driver's seat, giggling. In the car, Jared says, "Stop me at the bank. I'm going to get some money for lunch and some extra money for you and Lily." "But first," Jared says, handing Nikki a thin, cheap gold-like band, "I want to let you know that we are married. From now on, you are Nikki James." "You... No, I signed Leila's birth certificate, right?" "Yes," says Nikki, weeping at the stoplight. "Then we are married. We all have the same last name now," Jared says, "and that's that. We will never betray one another." Nikki agrees, and the car behind her beeps because she is sleeping the green light. "Oh wow," thinks Nikki. "He's stepping up. I knew he would." At the bank, Jared says, "I'll run in and be right back. Keep the motor running, Nikki." Nikki goes off into daydream world, staring at her finger with that gold band on it. A few minutes later, Nikki hears an alarm ringing and Jared running breathlessly from the bank. He jumps in the car, screaming, "Drive, drive, Nikki, drive!" Nikki punches it, but how fast can a 12-year-old Honda go? Driving away, she meets 3 patrol cars, sirens and lights blazing, going toward the bank they just left. "That's odd," says Nikki. "Nothing much ever happens in Brockway." Jared pretended that he didn't see the police cars because he at that moment bent down to pretend to be looking for something, but he was really trying not to be seen in the vehicle. Jared looks at her like, "Really? She hasn't put this together?" Then he says to her, "I think I don't feel well. Can you pull over right here?" Nikki obliges, and Jared, who has discreetly thrown a black ski mask in the back of the car along with a $10,000 wad of cash banded together, gets out of the car with his backpack. "Jared, are you okay?" "Yes, I just need some fresh air." "Wait for me, okay?" Jared first walks into the woods, and as soon as he is out of sight, he begins to run, away from Nikki. Nikki, who does whatever Jared says, just sat there and waited. Soon the police cruisers pulled up, surrounding her and ordering her out of the car. They saw the black ski mask, the wads of cash, and the gun just like the one waved in the bank surveillance tape, a Glock, serial number filed off. They saw how she was dressed, blue jeans, black shirt. They arrested her on the spot for bank robbery. No one would listen to her that Jared, right, your invisible friend? No, my baby daddy, my husband. Yeah, right. The cops in this town know Jared, and not in a good way. They didn't see him anywhere. They would have recognized him. This is his car, insisted Nikki. This is a stolen car, ma'am. Step out of the car, they demanded, guns drawn. The police never believed Jared was anywhere around, and that Nikki was just making this up. Mo got Leila off the bus that day and every day since. Nikki got 15 years and lost custody of Leila. If it had not been for Aunt Mo, Leila would have been put in foster care. 8 years later, Mo beamed at Leila, her adorable niece. She couldn't believe that she was now and suddenly her caregiver, her guardian and custodian. Mo noticed that kid could draw. She could color. She could imagine amazing things and then put them on paper, canvas, anywhere her artistic hands could find to create art. Once she got her hands on a computer and decent Wi-Fi, she made computer art and became a digital artist. It was hard, but Mo and Leila managed over the years. Another 7 years went by. Now Leila was 15. Leila would be 23 years old when her mother got out of prison, 4 states away. She had never once asked to see Leila. She had never called to speak to Leila. She had called once to speak to Mo, but only once. It was a weird conversation, though. Leila had never gotten one letter from her mother. Nikki was all torn up, hurt over Jared and so soul-tied that Jared was all she thought about. She didn't even care about herself, just Jared. Her mind was cracking, wondering all these years if Jared was okay. Mo had asked her on that one phone call from the prison, "What do you mean, is Jared okay?" "Well, he went into the woods. He wasn't feeling well. I should have gone with him or checked on him." "Oh my," she began to sob. "Mo, I left him. He's stranded." "He's stranded?" repeated Mo in disbelief. She paused and then was about to say, "Lil," but Nikki had burst into tears about Jared, completely forgetting she even had a daughter. Mo became an instant mother. She encouraged Leila's giftings and provided her with as many art supplies as she could. Meet Leila James, 15 years old, lives in a small town in Brockway, California with her Aunt Mo in her aunt's cabin near the water. It has solar panels and weak Wi-Fi. Loves animation, drawing weird animals, and playing indie games. Leila mentions, "I drew my first Zoo Freaks character sitting on a dock at Lake Tahoe." She's been uploading her art online for years, but nobody paid much attention, until one night she minted her first NFT collection called Zoo Freaks, just for fun. Within 48 hours, the entire 10,000-piece collection was gone, sold out. Leila became an internet sensation. Twitter went nuts. Discord exploded. One collector called her the next Beeple. Total earnings? Over $4 million in ETH. Leila's mom, Nikki, isn't around to see it. She's serving time, 7 years into a 15-year sentence. Why? Because she took the fall for Leila's dad, Jared James, a man with a long rap sheet. Fraud, identity theft, petty theft, and rumors of something darker. But nothing has ever been able to stick to this guy, like he's a ghost. Nikki was set up by Jared to take the heat for robbing a bank. So, Aunt Mo stepped in, raising Leila in a quiet, loving household. No drama, no danger, until now. Because guess who showed up right before Leila's 16th birthday, on the first Monday of spring break, like he knew Leila would be out of school. He shows up out of nowhere, again, but this time with a clean suit and a big smile. Jared, fresh out of hiding, no arrest warrants, no charges, and he claims, "I'm her father. She's a millionaire. I want custody." He's not asking. He tells Mo flatly that he is filing in court. But Leila's no fool, and Aunt Mo, she's ready to fight. Legally, Leila might still be considered a minor, but she created the NFT. The wallet's in her name. She's managing it with a lawyer and crypto security team that Aunt Mo helped set up before any of this happened. Jared's argument? He says the art was inspired by his old sketchbooks, and that she's emotionally vulnerable from being separated from both parents. but documents say otherwise. And there's a rumor that Jared only came forward after Googling her name and seeing a Forbes article. The custody battle is heating up. Leila is speaking out carefully through her attorney. Aunt Mo's being painted as unstable by Jared's team. Oh, really? Mo, even though she became a sudden parent, she went on to finish her education. It took an extra 3 years, but she is a fully licensed speech therapist earning a very nice salary. Meanwhile, the Zoo Freaks NFTs are rising in value. Everyone from Logan Paul to Snoop Dogg has allegedly reached out. But the real question is, can a 15-year-old girl keep control of her empire and her freedom when her past is trying to cash in? Leila becomes an online sensation teen NFT millionaire inside Zoo Freaks. So when Jared shows up, the custody battle becomes online fodder. He vanished for 8 years. Now he might win custody. Leila James is the 15-year-old who became a millionaire overnight by creating an NFT empire called Zoo Freaks. But now, her long-lost father, Jared, who vanished for 8 years, has returned, and somehow he might actually win custody. How did this happen? And can Leila stop it before it's too late? When Jared reappeared, no one expected what came next, a flawless redemption arc. He's living in a respectable condo, got a job at a tech consulting firm, volunteers at a youth center, posts inspirational quotes. He even started a parenting blog called Digital Dad, full of photos of him smiling with Leila's art. He's crafted a version of himself that looks like Father of the Year, well, at least online. But everyone knows you can be anyone you want online. But the courts, they're buying it. They are buying his new and improved, shiny image. But it was Aunt Mo who raised Leila for nearly a decade, even putting her own education and life on hold. But the court's questioning everything about Mo now, trying to discredit her. They tried reaching out to Nikki, but she's been put in a psych ward, and she is totally incoherent most days. Jared's legal team says Aunt Mo isn't a legal guardian, just a temporary caretaker. They're painting her as unstable, using old social media posts, a missed mortgage payment, and her past as a bartender against her. They even called her parenting unstructured, because she lets Leila stay up late drawing and working on her NFT projects instead of doing homework and normal teen activities. Family court doesn't care how many millions you've made or how famous your art is. What matters is stability. And Jared is presenting a paper trail of clean years, employment, community service, and a very expensive lawyer. Despite being gone for 8 years and having zero contact with Leila until she went viral, he looks like the better option, on paper. But Leila's not just some quiet artist anymore. She's fighting back, smartly. First, she wrote a letter to the judge describing her life with Aunt Mo, what her art means, and how Jared's reappearance feels like a strategy, not a reunion. Then, she made a new NFT collection called Ghost Dad, darker, sharper, a visual metaphor for betrayal and erasure. Each piece tells a story. All proceeds go to a legal defense fund, not for herself, but for kids in custody battles. The collection sold out in 14 minutes. Aunt Mo found this article and forwarded it to Leila's lawyer to be used in the custody hearings. FMC Carswell, Fort Worth, Texas, a federal medical center for women. Nikki's obsession with Jared turns her into a ghost in Leila's life, not tragically lost, but willfully absent. She took the fall for Jared because he told her he was her husband, and she believes everything Jared says. So, she never flipped on him. Even in prison, she talks about him constantly. Writes him letters, refers to him as the only person who ever loved me. Blames Aunt Mo for stealing Leila. I told her to get Leila from the bus, not to steal her. A journalist researching the NFT teen prodigy finds Nikki's prison letters to Jared, and it gets leaked. Jared has been corresponding with Nikki the whole time, and they've been making plans to get Leila's money. Nikki had said to him, "Our kid is a millionaire. Get that money and then we can be together. You can come get me out, and we can be together like we're supposed to be." The letter, intercepted by federal investigators and authenticated through handwriting analysis and metadata, appears to contain direct instructions encouraging Jared to gain legal custody of Leila and seize control of her multi-million-dollar digital fortune. A redacted portion of the letter was provided to Digital Frontier by a verified legal source. She's rich, they say. Millions. Can you believe it? She owes you. Once you're inside, the rest will come. Then you bring me home. That money can open doors. Good lawyers, they can fix things. We're so close, Jared. I feel it. I feel you. The letter was dated 3 weeks prior to the highly publicized custody hearing between Jared James and Aunt Moira, Mo Robinson, the woman who has raised Leila for nearly a decade in Brockway, California. According to legal analysts, the letter undermines Jared James's claim that he returned out of paternal concern. Instead, it paints him as part of a coordinated attempt to manipulate family court and access Leila's wealth. Carswell, Nikki James, inmate number 837666029, Federal Medical Center, Carswell, Fort Worth, Texas, serving 15 years for fraud, obstruction of justice, conspiracy. Mental status, unstable, obsessive, potentially delusional. Known associate, Jared James, ex-partner, possible fugitive at time of sentencing. There is no proof he committed any bank robbery, like he's a ghost. A federal women's prison with a psychiatric facility. It houses women with serious mental illness, psychosis, or extreme trauma. Carswell is highly monitored, limited visitation. Inmates' letters are screened. In the last 8 years, Nikki has rewritten the past in her mind. She now believes that she was set up by her sister, Moira, Mo. Leila? That kid? She sees Leila as part of the betrayal. When Leila goes viral, Nikki thinks it's a hoax. She told Jared, Mo has your money and she's pretending it is Leila's. You have to go get the money so we can be together again. That kid can't keep us apart. She didn't die. She chose him, and she's still choosing him, even from inside a federal psychiatric prison. My mom went to prison for a man who disappeared, and when he came back, she cheered. As of today, the judge has not made a final ruling, but sources say Jared is favored. The next court date is not for another 2 weeks from now. If Jared wins custody, he gets access to everything. Leila's money, her art rights, her future. She may not even be allowed to live with Aunt Mo anymore. And what no one knows yet is that Jared may not be working alone. There's more to this story, and it's about to get way darker. Leila puts all of her money out of reach of this dad. Leila uses a custodial wallet with a smart contract NFTs and crypto funds held in a smart contract wallet like Gnosis Safe, set to release control to her only when she goes to college, if not age 25. Requires multiple signatures, Aunt Mo plus trusted legal rep. It is a cool tech-savvy wallet that is coded so even if the dad wins custody, he can't touch it. Leila's crypto lawyer helped her create a smart contract-controlled trust wallet. Aunt Mo and a DAO board member co-sign all transactions. The funds are locked until Leila goes to college. If she doesn't, then age 25, and cannot be accessed by any guardian, even a biological parent, unless Leila herself consents. She put those stipulations in herself, knowing that she would be going to college. If Jared wins custody, he'd still have zero access to her funds, which would drive him nuts and maybe expose his real motivations. Leila suspects Jared's motives anyway, so she makes sure that her Aunt Mo instructs her lawyers to let Jared's lawyers know that there is no access to any money for any guardian, custodian, or parent until Leila goes to college or turns 25. Leila begins some research. California's family code lays out clear guidelines for minor emancipation. Must be at least 14. Leila is 15, almost 16. Check. Willing to live apart from parents or guardian. Leila is already living with Aunt Mo. Check. Managing her own finances. Leila has multi-million NFT sales and smart contracts. Check. Has a legal source of income. Check. Emancipation is in her best interest? Definitely. It is proven that her father is likely to steal from her or exploit her if he gains custody of Leila. In California, Leila doesn't need parental consent, just a judge's approval. After emancipation, Leila can legally make contracts, brand deals, licensing, speaking gigs, keep her own earnings, live wherever she wants, with Aunt Mo or alone, make medical, educational, and financial decisions. Leila knew this was her best shot to get out of her father stealing her away from Aunt Mo. Her father and mother have been absent for 8 years and only returned when money appeared. Her birth mother is in a psych ward. Emancipation protects her from being legally tied to someone who's likely manipulating the system. If emancipated, Jared loses all legal rights to make decisions for her. Medical, educational, financial, residential, etc. She becomes a legal adult in the eyes of the law, with some exceptions like voting or being able to buy and consume alcohol. She gains full control of her finances. She can sign her own contracts with NFT platforms, brand deals, and etc. Most importantly, custody becomes irrelevant. There's no legal need for a guardian anymore. Armed with all this new information, Leila steps into the kitchen where Aunt Mo is making dinner and asks, "Aunt Moe, why do they keep talking about me as if I'm still a kid? I'm not a kid. I'm 15. I'll be 16 in 2 weeks. I have money, and I can even take care of myself now. I don't know where I would be right now without you all these years. But neither my mother nor my father were anywhere around, so I don't need them now." "You're right, Leila. Why hadn't I thought of this? Leila, you would like to be emancipated, yes?" "Leila, you're a genius." "Thanks, Aunt Mo," she says, giving her aunt a big hug. A week after the custody hearings had started, Leila's lawyer files a motion for emancipation when they see that on paper, Jared looks good to win custody. When the emancipation hearing date finally arrives, it is presided over by Judge Simmons, who first looks over at Jared James, finely dressed and wearing an expensive suit, but then turns to Leila's attorney and says, "Proceed, counselor." "Thank you, Your Honor. We are here today to request the emancipation of Miss Leila James, age 16, a minor in statute but not in capacity. And you believe she meets all legal requirements?" "Yes. In fact, I'd like Miss James to speak for herself." The judge nods. Leila stands. She's calm, focused, dressed smartly but still herself, a hoodie under a blazer. She carries a folder. Leila starts speaking. "Your Honor, I've lived with my Aunt Mo for the past 8 years. My father, Jared James, was gone the entire time. He didn't call, he didn't text, he didn't write, he didn't check in. He only came back after I became a millionaire." Gasps ripple lightly through the courtroom. "I didn't ask for fame, I just drew what I loved. My NFT collection, Zoo Freaks, sold out in 48 hours. My second collection, Ghost Dad, raised over $600,000 for kids in custody battles." She hands a document to the clerk. "That's a financial statement. I am financially independent. I do not rely on any parent or guardian for support." Beat. Then she drops the hammer. "Also, I'm not just in the 10th grade as most 15-year-olds are. Your Honor, I've skipped 2 grades. I'll graduate high school in June, just a few weeks away. And I've already been accepted to Stanford University's Digital Arts and Design program." Jared shifts uncomfortably. His lawyer whispers something fast. Leila continues, "I've built a future without my father, and I'm asking the court to let me protect it, legally, emotionally, and permanently, by granting my emancipation." Judge Simmons leans forward. "Miss James, are you aware of the responsibilities this decision comes with? Rent, taxes, legal contracts?" Leila, smiling but steady. "Yes, Your Honor. I've already paid for my own legal team, health insurance, and taxes. I even sit on the advisory board of an NFT startup. I'm negotiating contracts every week, and I coded a smart contract wallet so no one but me can access my earnings." She looks directly at Jared. "I am not a prize to be claimed. I am not a product of luck. I am a person, and I'm ready to live my life on my terms." Judge Simmons, silent for a long beat, then nods slowly. Motion granted. "Miss James, you are now legally emancipated." Aunt Mo exhales. Leila smiles, small but proud. Jared's jaw tightens. He starts to rise, but the judge cuts him off. Judge Simmons continues, "Mr. James, this court notes your sudden reappearance after an 8-year absence. Let the record show, parenting isn't something you return to when there's money on the table. Not only that, I personally will be reopening the case against Leila James' mother Nikki James as to why she is in prison. The court will find out if you had anything to do with that robbery or her being in prison. So don't run. Make sure we know your address, Mr. James." Bang of the gavel. Court adjourns. After leaving the courtroom, Jared, used to getting his way, loses control. Jared was building his case around, she still needs a parent, but finding out she's about to graduate high school and head to college, and the judge emancipates her at almost 16, destroys his argument in real time. Back home at the cabin, Leila takes a freedom walk. She is emancipated. She thinks to herself as she takes her walk in the woods, remembering her court testimony for her emancipation. "He didn't come back for me. He came back for what I made. I built my future without him, and I'll protect it without him too. I know the story of how my dad picked my mom up one day when I was only 7 and set her up to take the fall for a bank robbery that he committed while she sat in the car at the bank. He won't do that to me. He won't use me. He won't set me up. He won't trick me. I'm not all Jared like my mom. I'm not all dad. He left, and I don't know him. After what he did to my mom and my family, I don't want to know him. Leila lets Aunt Mo stay in her life by choice, not custody. Now Leila becomes something bigger, a symbol of youth, empowerment, digital independence, and the future of creator-led economies. Leila James breaks the internet. Leila's speech repeating on TikTok, "I'm not a prize to be claimed. I built my future without my father." The Upload, a teenage courtroom artist, posts a TikTok edit of the speech. Yo, this 16-year-old NFT genius just obliterated her deadbeat dad in court. TikTok caption, "She got emancipated at 16 after becoming a millionaire. Views 500K, then a million, then 3 million in 12 hours. A YouTube explosion." Commentary videos like Leila James, the NFT teen who took down her father in court. Another video title, "Crypto Just Met Feminism." Podcasts, Modern Family Law just got torched by a 16-year-old. Influencers and celebs. Zendaya tweets a fire emoji and links to Leila's speech. Mr. Beast says, "When's the Netflix series?" Grimes reposts her ghost dad artwork. The movement begins. Teens across the world start using the hashtag #BeLike. Leila NFT artists create tribute pieces, stylized versions of Leila in court, in armor, in glitchy futuristic robes. One collector pays 100 ETH for a 1/1 edition of her courtroom quote animated in 3D. "I am not a product of luck, I am a person." Reddit AMA with Leila goes viral. "Ask me anything. I'm 16, emancipated, and built a $4 million NFT brand after drawing in my aunt's kitchen." Jared gives a whiny podcast interview. "I just wanted to be there for my daughter. Now I'm the villain." Meanwhile, Leila posts nothing. Just a quiet story update on her DAO blog. "I didn't want to go viral. I just wanted to be free." The legend grows. Her Stanford acceptance letter gets leaked. Time magazine names her one of the 100 most influential people under 30. Netflix options her story. You know they would. Schools and youth orgs invite her to speak. She turns them down, politely. "I'm still finishing finals." Her next NFT collection? Title, Unclaimed. Minting soon. Limited to 16 pieces. One for every year she spent waiting to be free. Jared is trying to hack into Leila's crypto account, adding cybercrime to his rap sheet. This fully cements him as manipulative, entitled, greedy, and selfish. But Leila used self-custody, multi-signature wallets like MetaMask, Ledger, Gnosis Safe. With strong 2FA and seed phrase security, Jared is not smarter than Leila, so he bribes a friend or hacker to try to get into her crypto wallet to steal her money. He hires a sketchy white hat turned black hat hacker to break into her account. Jared pays the guy to try to brute force into her seed phrase or inject spyware into her devices. However, the hacker was part of Leila's NFT Discord server once, and instead tips her off anonymously. Leila outsmarts Jared again. Aunt Mo says to Leila, looking at her laptop, "What is going on? That's the 3rd alert this week. What is he doing?" Leila responds, "He's trying to brute force the wallet or get around the multisig." Leila opens her Gnosis Safe app. One of the wallets shows a transaction pending signature, but not hers. Leila continues, "He thinks if he can just guess the right keys or fake my identity, he can own what I built. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know enough about me to even begin to guess my passwords. What he really doesn't know is that I moved everything last month. Cold storage, no internet, air-gapped. So what now?" Aunt Mo asks. "Now, I drop unclaimed and make sure everyone knows who tried to take it from me." Leila sets a trap. She plants a decoy wallet with a tiny amount of ETH and an old version of her artwork. Jared steals it. Leila screenshots everything. She publishes a piece titled Proof of Theft, an NFT minted on-chain showing the timeline of the wallet activity. The blockchain becomes the witness. He's caught attempting a crypto theft. Now he is facing felony charges for unauthorized access, identity fraud, digital asset theft, financial exploitation. Leila sits at her laptop. The screen shows a final render loading, a glowing digital collage of wallet IDs, timestamps, and a glitchy profile image of Jared's fake ID attempt. She takes a breath, then clicks mint. Proof drops NFT title, proof of theft. Artist, Leila James, emancipated.th. Minted. Just now smart contract, Etherscan verified. Unauthorized login, failed transaction, reset requested, attempt blocked. NFT description chain. This piece contains a full on-chain record of attempted access, impersonation, and digital theft. The source address is publicly available. This isn't just art, it's evidence. This is a record. This is not a performance. This is war. Leila's screen glows in the dark. Leila sits in a hoodie, earbuds in. Her laptop is open to her minting interface. The cursor hovers over the publish button. A timeline of every attempt made to steal what I built. Every login, every failed signature, every lie. I tracked it all. The blockchain doesn't forget, and neither do I. Artist, Leila James, emancipated, ETH contract, custom smart contract with hashlink documentation of wallet activity. Father of the year, glitches into silence, followed by a final chime. The same sound MetaMask makes when a transaction is rejected. Leila closes the lid of her laptop. She doesn't smile, just exhales. Aunt Mo asks, "It's live?" Leila answers, "Yeah, and it's permanent." Social drop. Minutes later, Leila tweets from her verified account. New drop, proof of theft. For every young creator who's ever had something taken from them, this one's for you. Proof of theft, unclaimed, not your wallet. She just published a forensic timeline of her dad trying to hack her wallet. As art. This is the hardest NFT drop of the year. No cap. Leila James invented receipts on chain. Your fave could never. I'm literally shaking. She didn't just cancel him. She immortalized his failure. Follow-up news headlines. The blockchain has receipts. How Leila James just changed digital justice forever. Jared goes silent and it looks like he's going to jail, if not for bank robbery, for attempted crypto robbery. Lawyers whisper about potential felony charges. A screenshot leaks from one of his burner emails trying to access her account. Unauthorized login, failed transaction, reset requested, attempt blocked. One MetaMask-style chime, rejected. NFT description on-chain. This piece contains a full on-chain record of attempted access, impersonation, and digital theft. The source address is publicly available. This isn't just art, it's evidence. Within 24 hours, the NFT sells at auction for 170 ETH, $500K. The buyer? A digital civil rights foundation. They plan to display it in a virtual museum titled Chain of Custody. 2 weeks later, the address used by Jared is linked to a crypto laundering ring from years prior. Federal agents start asking questions. Jared tried to access Leila's accounts. He tried to implant malware and also to impersonate Leila online. He was charged under Penal Code 502, Unauthorized Access of Computer Systems, Penal Code 508.5, Online Impersonation, Civil Code 1708.85, Invasion of Digital Privacy. They finally caught this ghost dad. Now Jared and Nikki are matching again. They are each wearing the fluorescent orange jumpsuits of justice. They are together, but not really. They are apart again, as usual. The only good between the two of them was Leila, and that was by the grace of God and Aunt Moira. The summer before Leila entered Stanford, she collaborated with a white hat group that works to protect young creators from digital exploitation. Leila became a force to be reckoned with. She filed a civil suit and a restraining order against Jared after her emancipation. Jared went to jail for cybercrimes and had to pay penalties to Leila. Well, he never paid child support, so at least he had to pay something. Nikki remained in the mental ward of the prison in Texas. Mo met a nice, genuine man, an audiologist, John Scott. They moved closer to the city center and had great Wi-Fi, but kept the cabin on the lake as a getaway, not from crime, but from the hustle and bustle of daily life. They got married, and by her second year in college, Leila had a whole family again, and a year later, Leila was going to be a big sister. Thank you for viewing this story. Our Kid Is Worth Millions. Go get it on Very Rich Stories. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. See you next time.